Welcome to the Engine Room. There's Dave. I'm Cooper. You can find us on Twitter at Engine Room Show, on Facebook at the Engine Room Show.
Same.
Yeah.
And our YouTube
No one.
And our YouTube page. Search Engine Room Show.
Yeah.
You'll never find us, but you
Yeah.
can link it through joe.ie.
There you go. That
Yeah,
covers off
jeepers.
everything. Well done. Podcast as
oh,
well. Podcast app.
Podcast app, which I've never found our show when I've searched for it.
It is there. I'm telling you.
And it's available on the
iOS.
iOS.
Engineroomshow.com. We do own a website.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's
Very
great.
well. We're paying for it handsomely. Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm paying for it handsomely because it's put on my credit
Well,
card.
I can't feel responsible for anything because I've never actually added to it.
Yeah.
But you like the new...
Don't worry, Cooper. We like carrying you on this show.
Do you like the way I've redesigned our lounge and
Yeah.
toilets in the engine room?
Very impressive.
You
the
are-
only problem I have with your redesign, it's virtual.
Yeah.
Virtually awesome!
You are the Kevin McLeod of the Engine Room Show.
Who is Kevin McLeod?
Brand Designs.
No.
You know, I've seen what Dave and Steve have done over the course of the last 18
Lots
months.
of gliding, panning shots.
And can I tell you what? I like it. It's not to everyone's taste.
It's bold. It's daring.
It's brash. It's a run amok in the hills.
It is.
But you know what? What they've created here is an environment which can foster the best podcast the world has ever seen.
Speaking of home TV shows, I know it's not kind of motoring related, but I watched a marathon.
Since when was anything we say
Yeah, because Kevin
motoring
McLeod
related?
impersonations are totally motoring.
I watched a marathon of Hotel Inspector last night. I mean, 6 episodes of it. And
Is this the thing where this frumpy woman goes into terrible hotels?
she's not frumpy. She's
Terrible.
glamorous in her own way, but she does drive a nice Audi A5.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's always clean. And the clunk of that door. There you go, we put motoring into it.
Are we going to talk
Is it
about
like a Golf?
Audis? Because since we last spoke, I drove the best car I have ever driven.
Ooh.
And that is a statement I've thought about a lot, but it is one I am happy to utter.
Excellent.
The Audi S5 Sportback.
Now, for those that are unaware of what an Audi S5 Sportback is, do tell us.
Okay, so Audi have an A5, as Cooper's just referred to there, Hotel Inspector Lady drives one.
There's 2 different types of it.
There are.
There's
Two different body shapes.
Stephen, I believe David is getting to that.
Whatever.
No. So the coupe came out first, probably what, 08, and it blew everyone away because all of a sudden it was like, wow, for not that much money, I can have a really handsome Audi car that's big enough in the back if you've got a couple of kids or whatever, but it's still a coupe. Then they brought out the Sportback, which is 4 doors, and I guess you'd call it a 5th door because the boot is a hatchback essentially.
Oh,
It's
I didn't
like a
know that.
lift back. So
It doesn't look like it.
no, it doesn't at all.
It's saloon-like.
It is, and I have to say, the Sportback, the 5-door, is far better looking, in my opinion, than the coupe. And I would usually never say that. The only thing is, the coupe to me always struck me as a little bit overweight and fat at the front. I don't know why, but it's whatever the proportions of the body, it never really looked right. As soon as they put the extra
like
doors on.
a page 3 girl who got too much frontage.
Well, isn't it true the page 3 girls never had anything done?
Only in the last few years when they were
really?
like real girls, yeah. By the way, page 3's gone from Ireland. Sorry
dropped.
about that, Dave.
Dropped.
Yeah, gone.
Well, Humphreys
Thank God I kept all
went
those
to
past
Russia
issues.
for a week, and the sales dropped so much that they had no choice but to.
Is that what it was?
We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
there was some. This was an S5 though.
now, yes. So okay, so the A5 is there as in coupe form, and the A5 is there in saloon sportback form. Then there's the S5, and the S5 is not an S-line kit put on an A5, which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
The S5 is a proper sports transformation of the car. It's a better engine. It's a stiffer ride. It's designed to be. Such an idiot.
No, I was actually waiting. I was waiting, thinking, no, he's gotten past it. No, he had to snigger at stiffer ride.
Quad exhausts. Can't read it into that, can you?
Quad pipes.
But it is. This is only a V6 turbo, so this is a 3-litre V6 petrol turbo, 333 brake horsepower. It's a lot of engine, but it's not the most powerful thing I've ever driven.
Yes, yeah.
However, whatever they've done to this car, both from a noise point of view, from a driving pleasure point of view, and of course, from a practicality point of view, because it's a proper 5-door car with a giant boot, like, there's nothing wrong with this car.
Yeah.
Nothing.
What colour is it?
White.
And does it only come in white?
No. It comes in every
It's
colour.
like that same witchcraft that Audi made on the A6 bi-turbo diesel
Yes.
that
Yeah.
we had, which was nothing at all like a diesel.
No. And this is petrol. I mean, like,
Yeah.
so...
Oh, you were well in your element then.
I was. No, and I'll tell you what. If I was given the choice between the two, petrol Sportback every time.
Now,
I'd still pick
this
the
is after
diesel.
you driving the bi-diesel and you were like, oh, I want this car.
Yeah. And it was like, it blew my mind.
You've swung back to the other side.
Well, here's the thing, right? There's no question that the best diesel car I've ever driven is the A6 bi-turbo. However, give me the choice in
You
the real
haven't
world.
driven a Kia Sportage.
You're right,
Ego.
I haven't driven a Kia
Dynamics.
Sportage Ego. You've never given me a shot.
You can have a go later on.
Okay.
It'll drive you mad.
Um,
You'll be like, oh my god, am I tied to a lamppost? Is there any power?
well, that certainly was an issue with this.
My eyes from this dashboard!
As
Are
some,
you still suffering from
Oh my
retina
god,
damage?
like driving, I'll go into it later on, but anyway.
some of you may know that apart from being a member of the engine room,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6 places down my career list, obviously, is a radio show I do with a guy called Dermot.
Yes.
And on Friday, when I had the car, last Friday, or Friday before, I should say, I had to pick him up and we had to go somewhere to do something for work. So I went over to Howth and picked him up and he was like, yeah, your car, yeah, whatever, it's fancy, you just know, and the cars doesn't care about cars. Yeah, blah, blah, whatever. He said, I'll stop here at the shop, he gave me back in, yeah, let's go. So then we ended up in a piece of road where there were 2 lanes, but there was a dawdly Nissan Tita, which has to be
Oh,
the
God.
ugliest car.
I was given one as a replacement car when
what?
my Navara was in for a service, and I'm like, what's the point of this thing?
What is
It's like
it?
driving a tractor. Have you seen the gear knob on it? It is like it's like a crutch. It's
I
like
don't-
a crutch. It's ridiculous.
Like, it obviously sells. I mean, we can't, you
No,
can't-
it doesn't. They give them to people.
But anyway, so we were driving on that, and I said, okay, I need to overtake this person. There was no cars coming, it was perfectly safe. But obviously, given the opportunity to overtake, and you're travelling at 15, 20 kilometres an hour, you floor this thing. I can only call it a yelp from wheeling. And he grabbed everything he could grab. He grabbed the door handle coat hanger thing
Yeah.
up by his head. He grabbed the dashboard and he went, "Yeah!" It is the most ridiculous power. Like, and look, there are, of course, if you drive a Ferrari, you drive, like it blows out of the water. But for the money, but for
Yeah.
the practicality, and for the deceptiveness of it, because it's a gorgeous looking car, but you don't think it can do what it can do.
Yeah.
And, oh my god! And I must thank our guest in last week's episode, Simon
Yeah.
Elliott, because it was his car, his
His
actual
own car.
personal
Wow.
car. And he just went, "What are you doing for the weekend?" And I was like, "Nothing. You want to drive my car?
It's like as if he's here again.
Do I want to drive your car?" "Yes." "Great. Just pick up tomorrow. I'll be at reception." "Okay."
That's right. Remember we had to peel him up off the floor.
So
Drool and all.
Simon
Yeah.
of Volkswagen, Audi, Seat, Skoda, Volkswagen commercial fame, thank you for your car,
And Scunthorpe United.
Scunthorpe United.
Don't forget that.
I didn't
Dodge.
curb it.
Across it. No.
I didn't crash it.
You didn't curb it.
I didn't curb it. Curb it was important.
Yeah.
What about the 2 marks?
Did you park it like 9 foot away from the
Yes,
footpath?
I was the most obnoxious parker you've ever seen. In fact, at one point I went to the Concili Pet Store, which has
That bloody powers on its bad language.
it has about 5 spaces out front, 2 of which are sideways along with the building. And then if you drive further down the road, there's a giant kind of car park area. And I went, do you know what? I'm just going to drive all the way down and walk all the way back up because I'm not parking anywhere near walls.
Did the parrot curse at you?
No, the part likes my son.
Oh yeah?
So every time I walk in, he goes, "Whoa, hello, hello,
Have
hey,
you been in
buddy."
there?
No.
Hey,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah,
You've
there's
got
a
a parrot there.
Yeah, with many. But like it is famous for this parrot and its bad foul mouth.
Listen,
Is
what's
that the one on the kind of on the main road?
no?
No.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. On
yeah,
Malahide Road.
yeah.
There's the best car. We've talked about the best car wash in Ireland.
Yes, yeah. Oh, that's
Oh, is
is
that
on
the one
Is
there?
Apple Green there?
Ah.
The 2 lads are unbelievable. But yeah, the little lane before it
Yeah.
is where I think it's called Posey Row. Or Posey Row somewhere else. Anyway, it doesn't matter. In there, with parrots aside,
I wonder, just on a very complete tangent, is there any
What?
is there any listeners? What is the weirdest pet that an engine room listener has? Maybe they should tweet us.
I think they should. At Engine Room Show.
Engine
Well, I
Room
know.
Show. What is the weirdest
Emma who would
pet?
listen.
Emma Quinlan always listens.
She
to
was
the
only
show.
out
She has-
rescuing snakes
I think,
yesterday.
I think she's probably going to have a pet rhinoceros next week.
Well, then she'll enjoy this, because I was just about to say that in there,
They have a rhinoceros.
no, where they have fishes and all the rest.
Fishes.
Fishes
No.
and all in anyway.
And like you kind of go, oh look, there's a couple of
Use the
fishes and all
plural,
the rest.
please, David.
Fishy.
Thank you.
They also have a load of different reptiles. So they
Yeah, that's
have
right.
snakes, and they have lizards, and they have
Car salesman.
But they now recently have added piranhas.
Oh, my mate Rory used to have piranha.
Coolness.
Yeah. I think one of them ate the other one.
Yeah, they tend to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They always prey on the smaller ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cannibals. Yeah.
He always
Do piranhas? You know that thing in the movies when you see something falls in a piranha and like 5 seconds later
Yeah.
it's just bone.
No,
Does
here
that
you go. Here
really
you go.
happen?
Again, I have a radio show. You might have heard of it.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
Dave's
I know,
World.
yeah.
Dave's
I
World.
did a
If
Dave's
you don't
World.
get to do it, makes him happy. Or
Blah,
something.
I
No,
did-
doesn't do to where's him
Blah,
happy.
blah.
I don't know.
I did a piranha based
Never
on my
been as
experiences there, because I was amazed at piranha. So I checked how long it would take piranhas to eat the flesh off a
Lamb.
fully grown human like ourselves.
Oh, human.
It turns out, first of all, it is one of the least likely things to happen, because you would need 300 to 500 piranha,
Okay.
and it would take them the guts of 2.5 hours.
Really? Okay, so
No.
It's just not happening.
Mythbusters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pigs are a lot better to dispose of humans.
He's seen Snatch.
What's that?
Anyway.
There's a joke there, but I'm not going to go there.
Long
Just
story
this
short
one.
Well,
is,
apparently you haven't been there in a long time.
Oh!
long story short is, thank you, Simon. Thank you, Audi Ireland, for allowing me to drive the best car I've ever driven.
I don't believe you. I want to have a go.
Yeah, you should have a
You
go.
should do, yeah.
It is honestly, I can't say enough good things about it. And listen, that's not, all joking aside, it's not because Simon was in. It's not because Simon gave me his
Okay.
car. It's
One thing
like,
though,
Yeah.
it is the best car I've ever driven.
did you fart in it?
I did when I sat on it. So there's a little present for you. Have a little go with that.
I did leave a little present. I left a little present for him on the passenger seat.
Oh God!
It was a box of chocolates.
Jesus, what are you trying to seduce him? Are you?
No, I just want to say thanks for entrusting me with his baby.
You gave a man
Mhm.
a box of chocolates
I did.
who suffers from diabetes.
No, he suffers from, he doesn't drink alcohol, so he wasn't getting a bottle of wine.
Where's mine?
You haven't given me a nearly 100 grand sports car to drive around in, so
Details,
as soon as you do
details,
that, I will
details,
happily
details.
shower you with Butler's chocolates.
Speaking of 100 grand sports cars, I was having a good bit of banter
It's
with
probably 75 list, and he had a couple of extras, it was on 100 grand. Go on
Okay.
then.
Speaking of sports cars and big expensive cars, I was speaking to a friend of mine who I haven't spoken to in a while. Hopefully he's coming over. He lives in the UK, and we were chatting about the engine room, and he listens to it. So we've a UK listener, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
One.
What?
What?
Matt, get some of your friends to
He's,
download this
he's
show.
off of Essex as well, so
Off of Essex.
yeah. Works on Heart actually in Essex, the radio station. But he has a theory about privacy tinted windows in expensive cars. He reckons it's to hide the fact that the person is crying inside because they really aren't that happy.
He obviously doesn't have one. No, privacy
You,
windows.
you can only get them in the back now, anyway.
Yeah,
It's,
I have mine done, but was only able to do the 7 at the back.
Yeah, yeah.
Couldn't
But
do
who's to stop you doing the front ones?
it's
guards.
illegal.
It's illegal. You
Well,
cannot
your
do.
car. If you've got tint, well, depends on the degree of tint,
There you go.
but it has to be almost not tinted. But your windscreen and your front
passenger.
driver and front passenger windows cannot be tinted.
In fact, when I went to get mine tinted, I asked for them all to be done, and the guy wouldn't do them. And he's just a guy working out of a shed in
You're
Yep.
kidding.
in,
Yep.
in Belgard. He was like, "No, I
Yep.
can't. It's not legal. I don't do." I was like,
Yeah.
Is he from Coolock?
Do you ever get people that aren't Eastern European to work on your car?
"Yeah, Bobby,
Okay.
who hates Eastern Europeans."
Does
honestly.
it?
So I draw like complete.
They
you
done
know,
their
contrast
jobs.
there. Yeah. So I don't know if I had
But
an
what?
amazing
hang on a
sports
second,
car.
no, but why is it against the law?
Because it restricts your visibility.
And also restricts the visibility into you, you criminal.
Yeah.
I'm not criminal.
What have you got to hide?
Gangster.
Well,
What have you got to hide, Cooper?
My tears while I'm crying inside my sports car.
Because you're ginger.
do you know what though?
Well, that's just a racist attack. It's not. It's going grey now, but thanks for pointing that out.
So far we've offended the Eastern Europeans, diabetics, and gingers.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? Like driving something as flash, it's not that flash, but as flash as a white Audi
S5.
S5, like which
Yeah.
look, it's a flashy car, but it's not mental. Like it does make
You're
you
selling it now,
realize.
here we go.
does make you realize that there's only a certain level of flash you can actually pull off without being completely conspicuous. Like in other words,
Yeah.
if I pulled into the petrol station in Portmarnock, which I did quite a bit in this because it's thirsty.
I'd say so, yeah.
If I get out of the car and there's a guy who knows his cars, he's going to go, oh, that's an S5. If someone doesn't know the car, it's just going to walk straight past.
Yeah.
You pull up in an orange Aventador,
Yeah.
like everybody in the place and their mother and the
Yeah.
ducks across the thing are going to go, whack. Like, you know,
Yeah.
but that was about the level that I think I could take as a human.
Mm.
That like people, because people were coming over asking me about it, people were looking.
Well, when we had the GT86, I had it.
Yeah,
what?
there was a little bit.
The what?
Doesn't it?
No, you
Doesn't
didn't. He's talking to me.
it? Subaru thingamajig.
Subaru BRZ.
Yeah, great
yeah.
car.
They are fantastic. They're cheaper. They're a lot cheaper than GT86 as
That's
well.
true, you know.
Anyway, moving on.
Are they out yet?
They are out. They're available now in dealers nationwide.
But yeah, I don't know. It
There's
really
only
made
one
me
Subaru.
realize. You know, we've talked about dream cars and stuff before.
No.
Yeah.
It would kind of make me reassess that, like because I don't think I could, for example, drive an SLR Merc McLaren. Like genuinely, I don't think I could do
Because
it.
they're ridiculous looking.
Because of
The
what.
attention.
Yeah, because of what it means to everybody else. Like, we live in a country where people don't pat you on the back for going, well done, man, whatever you did to get that car must have been absolutely brilliant. What's it like to drive? They're just basically essentially spitting on it.
Yeah.
As you know what I mean? Like, that's. I don't know, I don't know.
I know exactly where you come from. Like in the last Rossa Carl Kelly book, his dad bought him a Lamborghini, and this is like during recessionary times, and every week he had to get the thing resprayed because people were graffitiing all over it.
This is a work of fiction, though, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Just wanted to check.
yeah.
Wasn't actually the guy who rides it.
No.
Right, okay.
No, it's like the Rossa Carl Kelly character
Character,
had
okay,
a
cool,
Lamborghini.
cool.
No, but like that kind of thing, like it's a jealousy thing as well, and it's a begrudgery thing. But like,
But that's Irish.
It is an Irish, but I think if I lived in the UK, it would be different. Like,
UK is a very car orientated
It is,
culture. Of
yeah,
it.
it
Big
is.
into the cars. It's a status symbol.
but it's also not frowned
It's also
upon.
an awful lot cheaper to buy one in
Oh,
there compared to
listen.
like the thing that like amazes me is that because of our VAT and tax import percentages, it's ridiculous that the manufacturers have to dumb down the cars to devalue them. Like,
Yeah.
do you remember back in the day where having color-coded bumpers in this country was a luxury?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
It's an extra.
unbelievable. Like in the UK, it's just standard.
That's why, like, if you're buying an expensive car,
Mm.
second-hand,
Mm-hmm.
if you're buying a 10D M-Class Merc, you are so much better off going to Northern Ireland, the UK, and paying the VRT, because you'll get a better spec machine, you'll get
It's probably been looked after better.
looked after better, properly serviced,
Yeah.
you know, with buckets of main dealers everywhere.
Has been driven around on better roads.
Yeah, and you'll be
So
able
the
to just
suspension
bring it
isn't
in.
knackered.
And even if you pay slightly more than the equivalent price here, you're getting a better deal.
Yeah, in the long run.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's what we said
That
for
is true.
Japanese imports too, by the way.
Yeah, I used to have
Lot
a
to be
Japanese
said,
import. I had a couple of Jap imports actually.
I had aircon in a car that was made in 1991 that I owned in 1992. Come on.
Flash.
I think Lisa had an '89 Japanese import yellow thing and had aircon as well.
Daihatsu Sharad.
No.
They were
Sorry.
awesome.
Yeah, they were.
Do you know they did a high performance version of that car as well?
No way.
There was, I can't remember what it was called, but there was like a hot hatch version of the Daihatsu Charade.
What about the Daihatsu Copen?
Yes.
That tiny little
Yeah.
convertible thing, you know that?
It's like a little.
It's usually in yellow.
It's like a ballet shoe.
Yeah. This absolutely tiny little convertible.
That
Not-
sounds like something that I nearly bought. But I think it was called a cappuccino.
Suzuki
Oh,
Cappuccino.
I nearly
Cappuccino.
bought one, and do you
They
know what?
are super cool.
I was going to buy one. There was one in a car lot, and whatever I was driving at the time, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to go and get this. It's a hardtop convertible, like you literally lift it
Lift it
up.
up, yeah.
And I was just like, this is so cool. Because there was nothing like it around at the time.
Not for the money either.
And I was like, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to go for this. And then when I went in to look at it, and everybody said I was mad. But it's like the height of your 6 foot. That's a girl's car for a girl who's 4'3". And I'm like, no, I love this car, and it was beautiful. And when I got up to it close, I was like, it is actually ridiculously small.
I'm
And
actually going to Google it right now because I haven't seen one.
barely fit into it.
Yeah.
But that's when I saw
They,
the Honda Prelude,
oh yeah.
the 2.2 VTEC, the one
The, with the long bonnet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I bought.
Yeah.
92 one.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was amazing. 4-wheel steering as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic
Seriously
car.
advanced.
Broken into about 50 times
Yeah.
within a month. You couldn't steal it.
Yeah, the
Yep.
Suzuki Cappuccino. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting right there.
Yeah.
Charlotte Humphreys.
I don't see a Suzuki Cappuccino there. It's a horrible paint job, by the way.
I was going to show her this was that, but no, we won't.
No.
But
So
yeah,
that's what happens when you Google Suzuki Cappuccino.
This is much better.
That's the one. And I saw one the other day actually driving
probably
down
get
to
a
Cork.
look at that.
Or you just Google it yourself. You know,
Yeah.
people are pretty smart if they get in the podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, but they'd have to press pause because like.
No. We're not saying event and
Open
event.
Control
Control
T.
C,
Yeah.
Open a new tab.
Yeah, well, that's quite cool. Not
Yeah,
to be.
I saw one the other day
no.
and I was just like, oh god, I'm so glad I never bought one of them.
Another very cool one of that era as well was the Honda Beat.
Honda Beat. Was that the Honda that had like the futuristic back on it?
Yes.
The back wheel was covered.
No.
No.
That was the Honda Insight,
Which is still knocking about today.
which
An
is
EV.
Sorry, yeah, it was the Insight.
Insight's an EV.
Yeah. They're very, very cool.
You
Anyway,
can't clamp the back of them.
no,
You
but
can
you
clamp
can
the
clamp
front.
the front of them.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think.
Was
We've
it
run
goodbye?
out of stuff to
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah.
Well, for this
But-
episode anyway.
But next week, on next week's podcast, we're going to be talking to Dave Humphreys and
That's
Bean.
me.
Hello, about Russia and nearly being arrested.
Ну что, ёлки-польки,
not
ширли-мырли.
Gangland did.
International incidents.
There was
Lockdown.
there was a lockdown.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about it next week. Right, that's the Engine Room. You can get us on @EngineRoomShow on Twitter, Engine Room Show on Facebook, TheEngineRoomShow.com, Joe.ie, and YouTube. Ross Kemp.
Engine room goes to Russia.
Sieht noch, wie es in Dresden gibt.